Okay, hey folks, Mark Locklear here with a quick screencast on, I think what we'll do is talk about enumerators. This is for chapter 10. The project stuff and organizing code's pretty dry, and I mean, it's fairly straightforward. I'm not giving you an assignment on the documentation. That stuff's good to understand. If you go on to be a Java programmer, you'll probably learn about that stuff on the job. So to me, the more interesting part is the latter part of the chapter where enums or enums or enumerators are discussed. So I think what we'll do is do a screencast on enumerators, and then this will be an option for you on one of the exercises, the homework exercises that we do. So this idea of enumerators is the idea is you've got a sort of a discrete list of things. You want to create a class that's going to actually limit the choices people use. I think in the book, the example in the book, they talk about shipping or types of shipping. So it might be UPS, it might be USPS, it could be ground, it could be air. You can have all these options. The idea is that, again, in a structured environment, you don't want programmers just picking, some people might name it UPS underscore shipping, somebody else might name it uppercase UPS, lowercase shipping. You want to standardize that by creating this shipping class that is an enumerator type, and then you're sort of limiting the choices that they've got. And the other option, you could create an array. Let's say you could sort of hard code some other values, but an enumerator is sort of the right way to do it. And this is you see this in other programming languages too. Enumerators are fairly ubiquitous across programming languages. So with that being said, let's do some coding. I'm going to create. So what we're going to do is create a new Java application. I'm going to call it enum example. Let's say. Okay. So I've got a standard Java application. So I'm not going to do anything yet. I'm going to go ahead and create a new class now. And we'll call this class currency. And this name will make sense once we start to program it here. The idea here is we're going to create a class that's going to enumerate currency that we might use. In this case, we'll do pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, let's say. So to change this, we're going to change this from a class to an enum. And then the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to add some actual enumerators here. And so we're going to add here, we've got, let's make this a little neater. So here we've got penny, nickel, dime, and quarter. Now we're getting an error here already. So we need a constructor when we create these, and I think the example in the book does that. We need a constructor here to sort of to set the values and the types here. And so in this case, I'm going to do something like this. Okay, so again, our constructor name is always the same name as the class that we're working in. So that's why we use this currency here. Now the values that we're associating here are int, and of course that's the values we're doing here. So this looks similar to a key value pair maybe, or a map, but at any rate, we're creating this constructor, and we're just simply assigning the value to this dot value. Now we need to create a instance variable to go along with this. So we'll make this private. We only want this modified or to be accessible inside the class. So we'll say private int value, and that should get rid of our errors here. Okay, so now we've got this enum class. We're defining penny, nickel, dime, and quarter. And then we're also assigning this value to each one now. So let's talk about the implementation now. How would we use this over in the class? So first thing we're going to do is create a new instance of this enum class. So I'm going to say currency, And we can call this anything we want. I'm just going to call it coin equals, then we'll say currency dot, in this case, so now we, if we look at the values that are available to us, notice we've got dime, nickel, quarter that are available to us here. So we can do something like quarter. And now if we print out the value here, and I'm just going to say the value of coin is, and then we should be able to append here or concatenate coin, and then we should be able to call get value here. So let's see what I did here. So I didn't create a method that's going to allow me to access it. Okay, so right. So I did the currency. Now we actually need to create a get value method to be able to get that value back, right? Because right now, let's see what's available to us. If I just do coin dot, if I do coin dot name, for instance, I'm going to just get quarter returned back here, I think. Let's see. Yeah. So I see the value of coin is quarter, and that's going to be based on, yeah, just that's simply the constructor here that's returning that value. So I'm going to create a, let's go back to currency class. Let's create a method that's going to allow us to get this value, this int value that we've created. So this is going to be a public method. Okay, it's going to return an int, and so we'll just call it get value. And then inside here, we're just going to simply return this dot value. So now, if we go back here and we say coin dot, yeah. So now we've noticed we've got this get value method. We're not passing any parameters to it. We're just going to get that value that's assigned to the enum class. So now if I print this out, notice I get 25 here. So that's a bit of a contrived example, but you can sort of see, you'll often see this used maybe with days and months. Many times you might see something like, the way we've got penny, nickels, dime. You'll see the abbreviations for months set up this way. So you'll have January, February, all 12 months. And then in parentheses, you'll have like Jan, Jan, February, FEB. So you're sort of standardizing the abbreviations rather than allowing developers to come up with their own sort of, because abbreviations might be different depending on who's writing them up. You're sort of codifying and standardizing this set of months and abbreviations. In this case, we're doing it with currency. Okay. All right. So that is all for now. I hope that's interesting. And again, think about this. Just sort of take it for what it's worth. All programming languages, regardless of the language you use, PHP, Ruby, Python, all of them have enumerators and sort of some flavor of this concept. So it's not just a Java thing. It's standard across all programming languages. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks.